OK, let's get cracking with the show. Joe, you know where we are going with this. Only one place to start, and that is talking about Manchester United. As we alluded to there, Michael Carrick's been given the head coach role until the end of the season. So, this is an item that we are not unfamiliar with.
Go and get the stay or go.
Yeah, here's stay or go. Mina's going to take the lead.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain how we're going to do it? Because there's a lot of magnets in front of us.
Yeah, this is a full squad audit for Carrick and any future coach as well, I think, because some of these players, will they last, will they not last the summer? We've got 28 players to talk about today. It's the majority of the first team squad. There's a couple of youngsters in there as well, and a couple of loanees. But you're going to say whether you think they should stay or go. You're basically Jason Wilcox today.
I hope I do a good job then.
Which means you may as well play like Christopher Vivell today, so you can support.
As you said, it's worth putting out. It's not every single player. It's the main players. There's obviously
the talking points.
Yeah.
Should we do the keepers sort of together?
We'll start with the four keepers.
Four keepers.
Four keepers are a good option.
Who's staying? Who's going?
Left, go. Right, stay. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I think Sen Lamont has started off quite well at Manchester United. Still young, reportedly Ibrahim wanted a more experienced goalkeeper. The recruitment team went for the data and the statistics and those metrics. And I think Tom Heaton, third choice, I can't really... He hasn't given me a reason to say go. Just with Andre Onana, obviously, he's been out on loan. And I just think that with him, Manchester United are executing that kind of ruthlessness that we've asked for in transfer windows, where if something's not working out, let's get rid. And I just think it's the right decision. So I think that both of them...
OK, stick him up.
What have you made of Lomans? There's big positions coming for a young player, a lot of pressure being the number one for Man United. What are your thoughts on him?
I think he's done all right so far. I mean, the talk around Onana meant that any goalkeeper who kind of showed a bit more calmness was going to be positively spoken about. But he's young, and I thought the pressure was going to be on him quite highly, because I know he made a lot of saves last season, but playing in a different team, it's a different role being at United. But he's done okay so far. I don't think he's set the world alight, but it's a steady start, and I think that's all you can really ask for when you're a young keeper at a big club like that.
He's quite in the noise. Let's go to your next positions, which are the right backs.
Right backs or right wing backs, whatever you want to call them.
Right backs, for goodness sake.
It's back to right backs. It's back to right backs.
Just on that, you think that the formation will change? There's a lot of talk about potentially 4-2-3-1. Do you expect, as a United fan, that will be the case today, 4-2-3-1?
Yeah, I expect a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, at least a back four with two natural fullbacks. Hopefully. I will start with actually Diogo Dalot, because he's been one of the longest serving members at Manchester United. He's played over 231 games and he signed in 2018. I remember Jose Mourinho said that he was the best young fullback in Europe when he made his debut against Young Boys in the Champions League, and he said he could be here for at least a decade, and he's not that far off from a testimonial at Manchester United. He's only got like a season and a half left until he's entitled to one, but I just think his defensive ability, or his lack of defensive ability, has been on show quite a bit. And you look at a lot of the players Man United have, who can they cash in on? We brought him for 19 million. He's only 26. You could definitely get a good fee for him. And one thing I have to praise him for, because he does bear the brunt of a bit of criticism, I have to praise him for his work ethic in terms of trying to be consistently available, because he's not a player that, since he's joined United, he struggled in the first 2 seasons with injuries. He missed 51 games in 2 seasons, but since then he's missed 4 this season, 5 the season before that, and I think before that it was a 22-23 season. He missed a couple of games, and Cristiano Ronaldo praised him for his, work ethic. But I just think we've got to have new beginnings, and the players that have been here for a long time go. So I would put him on. I'd put him on the go list. And Nusayr Mazraoui, I think he's a quality fullback for the price that United got him for, less than 15 million. I think when you're talking about defensive acumen, and that's what you need in a team that's been conceding goals. You need a quality defender at fullback, and I just think he's exactly that. Whether we go out and buy another fullback as depth, that's a different question, but I'll put him as
OK, stick him up.
On to the centre-halves then.
On the centre-halves. I'll do these 2 guys together because they're the 2 younger guys in the team.
Nailed on stays, right?
Both of them are stays. Both of them are stay. But I just want to plead with a bit of patience for our young players, because I think they've played together a couple of times in December, and Aiden Heaven, despite the fact that he never played many first team games before he joined United, he looked like the more experienced one at Lenny Yoro, despite the big gap in price tag. We have to give our young players an opportunity to develop, to platform. I know when you're a defender, those kind of errors that you make 9 times out of 10 could lead to a goal, but we just need to give our players an opportunity to develop, and I think they can become 2 quality centre-backs if we allow them to grow. So both of them, I would say, stay.
You been impressed by Aiden Heaven, huh?
Yeah, really impressed. I actually went to Leeds Man United, and that's such a hostile environment, and I know that he maybe copped a bit of criticism for Leeds' goal, but for a young defender to come into a team, it's similar to Lamens, to come into a team and just hold their own. Yeah, I think that is a really bright future of a centre-back partnership, I think.
$1.5 million as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the more experienced centre-backs then.
I'm going to go with these 2, because these 2 as well are stay. I know a lot of centre-backs I've put as stay, but I promise you there's a go coming soon. But just on Lisandro Martinez quickly, since he's joined Manchester United, I've had concerns about his injury record. He's missed 92 games in the past 3 seasons for club and country. Most of them are for club. And I know he's been unfortunate since, Eric Ten Hag's first season. He was Man United's one of their best players up until that injury in the Europa League. And since then, he hasn't been able to get that fitness consistent across multiple seasons, and I think that is just what we're lacking. And I see he gets a lot of criticism in the media for not being the traditional type of centre-back in the Premier League, but I think he offers experience in Man United's backline. He offers quality going forward, which is something that we lack on the ball. And I just would say I will keep him, but if that injury issue continues, then I think United should look at alternatives. And just Matthias de Ligt, he's been out injured, but this season he's been Man United's best player. It's not that hard, but he's been Manchester United's best player. And I remember last time when I was on here, I said that he was only here for a couple of months, but I said I see a leader in him. I see captain material, and I still see that right now. And I think the young players like Aiden Heaven, like Lenny Yoro, could learn from someone like Matthias de Ligt, who I think is a very good centre-back. And I don't think he gets the prop he deserves sometimes in comparison to maybe other centre-backs in the league, but both of them stay.
You're talking about the depth here of United centre-backs. So if everyone's fit, and you're saying that you think it will be back to a back 4, which is what a lot of people are saying, who would you start as the starting 2 centre-backs, presuming everyone was fit right now?
Presuming everyone's fit, I would go with Matthias de Ligt, and I think the left-hand side would be up for grabs between Lisandro Martinez and Aiden Heaven, because I think they're both good quality centre-backs. I think Aiden Heaven, sometimes he was one of our best centre-backs over the last month. He was, the most inexperienced out of all of them, but I would say it's a toss-up at the moment for me between Licha and Aiden.
Stick them up.
Stick them up. You might have to help out a bit.
Ollie might have to help me. Thank you, Ollie.
Then we'll talk about Harold Maguire. Because you're interested. What am I hearing these rumours of? That you're interested post Gahey?
I see him as a potential Gahey replacement, so put him in go, and I know somewhere he could come to.
I mean, I was going to put him in go. He kind of stole my shine for a second, but I was going to put him in go. But I just have to say that he's been a good professional at Manchester United for what he came in for, the price tag. He maybe didn't live up to the expectation of that fee, but as a professional, I can't really fault him. I don't really have much to say, but
he's out of contract in the summer as well. Let's go to left back.
Should we do the last 3 defenders?
We'll do
let's do a group of left backs.
Last 3 defenders.
So you got Luke Shaw. I can't see the back.
Malacia.
Yep.
I presume the other one is Dorgu.
And Patrick Dorgu. I'm going to say this side is my goes. I just think Tyrone Malacia I don't think there's a future for him at the club. He was part of that squad that Ruben Amorim kind of exiled in the summer. Played 1 or 2 games this season, maybe even less than that. Luke Shaw, I think he's an example of what Manchester United shouldn't be in terms of being at a club for so long with really not much to show for consistency. He's been here for 11 and a half years so far, 308 games and only 30 assists, which is it's actually quite a tough metric.
But he's been consistent this season.
He's been and that's what I wanted to say, because people always talk about the international competitions that come up, but he's played and been involved in all 21 Premier League games this season. In the last 2 seasons, he only played about 18 or 19. So that just shows he's trying to work on that fitness. But I also think Manchester United need to be ruthless in terms of getting rid of things that haven't worked. And if we're going to have a rebuild, the word that we hear so much, I think we just have to start with those players there.
He's been there that long. He actually played with Michael Carrick, of course. Don't forget.
Yeah, in
quite a few seasons. So
okay,
he's actually one of the few players that has been there for over 80% of the managers post Alex Ferguson. So the 2 of them, I'd put them in.
Okay.
Going into midfielders then?
Patrick Dorgu, I would just say stay, but I think Man United need a left back in the summer.
Fair enough.
So I'll just say that if you could put it up there, thank you.
Into the midfielders, where do you want to start?
Let's start with these 2 here. Let's start with them. They're not against each other here, not at all. Mason Mount, again, another player that struggled with injury. He's missed more games in his first season at Manchester United than he did in his entire Chelsea career. And just when you think he's getting to that level this season, again, he goes down with an injury. And that price tag, I think, weighs heavy, because he would have been available for Manchester United on a free had they got him the following year. We spent 55 million. And I just think the return on investment just hasn't been there for him, and I do feel bad for him when it comes to fitness, and I'm sure there's a quality player in there. We've seen little glimpses at Manchester United, but like I said about Onana, we just need to be ruthless in our decisions, and if something's not working, I'd rather we just cut ties.
So you're saying cutting your losses? Amazing.
Yeah, I would say. I would say.
What do you make it out?
I thought he'd be a stay, but I agree with you that he's obviously been unlucky with injuries, and I think this season he's been good, but. Yeah, a utility player, surely. I mean, I'd
you
have
look
him
at the 10 and you think, okay, if you've got Cunha, you've got Ahmad,
True.
potentially Bruno, then Mason Mount is a fourth choice 10. I saw him play on the right wing. I don't think that is his strong suit. Is he going to play in a double pivot, maybe in a two-man midfield? Is that something he can do? But then again, you know, if Man United do get rid of a lot of midfielders, what's the likelihood that they're going to bring in 3 or 2 this summer?
This is your list. That's your list. So
I'm surprised at that.
Wow,
I mean,
I'm really surprised at that.
Surprised at
I
that.
didn't think that would be so surprising.
I'm surprised at that. Well, let's see what everyone thinks. We've got to talk about
Yeah,
Cobby. So obviously no Premier League starts this season. A lot's been made of the fact that he was, you know, the system that Amrin played. Amrin no longer there. Do you think he's someone now that Carrick will really utilise? Obviously,
I think
it could be an opportunity for him now.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so much talk about his future. I just think we shouldn't build our team around a specific player. I think when you build it around a specific player, you kind of hinder the rest of the team. But I do think Kobbie Mainoo has those qualities. We've seen it already. And you mentioned that he hasn't played much. I think he's played 228 minutes this season in the Premier League. And the last time he played, the most minutes he's played was 45 minutes in the end of August. So
Which
he's
is incredible to how much he played originally when he burst onto the scene, and then for club and country.
Yeah.
What do you make of the Kobbie Mainoo situation?
It feels like an absolute tap-in for the next United manager to prioritise him in the midfield.
Yeah.
Like, all they've got to do is name him on the team sheet and people are going to be buzzing about it. I think he's been, harshly treated over the past 12 months, but he's still really young and he played a lot of minutes before that, and maybe long-term it'll be a good learning curve for him. But I know you don't want to build the team around one player in particular, but that feels like someone who should be the cornerstone of a United team for the next, 5 to 6 years.
Let's stick him up.
Yeah,
So he goes in stay.
Got to be stay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you have to stand up in a second. Into the defensive midfield position a little bit more here.
I would say Manuel Ugarte for me has just been a very underwhelming signing for the qualities that he lacks. Is what Manchester United need in midfield. I don't think you should be a midfielder in this kind of Manchester United team where you're not good on the ball. And I think that's what I've struggled with the most. And, his best traits are probably just hunting the ball down. But I wonder, is he a midfielder that you would add as the final piece of your midfield rather than the first piece of that double pivot? I don't know if you kind of agree with that.
I think he's had the difficult situation of having to play, in that midfield too. Post Ten Hag, it was like there's a massive chasm in midfield. Everybody was talking about United being cut through midfield constantly. Then the shifting situation as well to a different system. Like, Casemiro's importance this season it's almost not talked about enough, because when he hasn't played, Casemiro, United have been disastrous in midfield at trying to move the ball through the lines. So I do think the drop-off between those two is quite obvious at the moment. But, he cost a lot of money. He's on a long-term contract. This is a decision that was made
I think it was one of Ineos's first decisions.
Yeah, it's one of the first major decisions Ineos made.
It was a highly rated transfer at the time, wasn't it? People were buzzing about it.
I think people were buzzing about it because he came from PSG, but we should look at why PSG sold him after only one season at the club. I'm going to say sell. I think Manchester United should cut their losses. And like I said, they need to be ruthless when it comes to the decision making. Casemiro is an interesting one because, like you said, his importance in the team, especially in that double pivot, is on show. But he's one of the higher earners at Manchester United. If they could get a fee for him, I wouldn't be mad about him going in the summer. But for me, I'm very sceptical about the hierarchy at United adequately replacing these midfielders. I will say keep for experience, but I wouldn't be mad if
because he is out of contract in the summer. They have the option to extend it.
He
by
has the option as well.
He has the option. I think if he plays basically every single game from now on. Would you extend it?
I think so. I think you're right that he's found, after starting so well and then falling off a bit, I think he's found somewhere in the team where he can work. And I think in a three-man midfield, that makes every midfielder's job easier. And Casemiro clearly has qualities. And you're right, like, it's not like United will command a big fee for him. Someone's going to come in and pay 40, 50 million. I think you might as well keep him because he offers something to the squad.
It's a really interesting situation. I think it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with him, given the wage structure and, like you said, the contract situations. I think it's a fascinating one to keep an eye on. Let's stick him down. Then you're putting him as Joe, I believe.
I was going to put him as Stay.
And then, sorry, Stay. I meant Stay.
And Bruno.
And Bruno.
The man that everybody loves to talk about. Oh my God, 198 goal involvements in 310 games. I don't think. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's underappreciated by just football fans and just fans in general. I think we've had a little glimpse of what is life without Bruno. And I just think when you're going under a potential rebuild and, new beginnings, do you want to kind of meddle in that dressing room where you lose a big personality and a big character who, every time I watch interviews of players, they speak very highly of Bruno Fernandes and how important he is. And I just wonder if you're going to undergo that rebuild and bring in these younger midfielders, is he someone that you want to get rid of, especially when you rejected a 100 million fee for him in the summer? And this season, reportedly, he's got a 60 million euro release clause for non-English teams. And can you say that you got 40 million worth out of him this season? I don't think so. And he's got a contract till next year. option to pick up, I would keep him unless a good fee comes in that you can't reject.
His numbers are outrageous.
Yeah, his numbers are outrageous. I'm just thinking about because I think he, for me, is just like comfortably the best signing post Fergie.
Yeah.
You know, in a different era, if he'd had a few of the right trophies in his back pocket, we would be talking about a real top
his
level.
His numbers comparative to even United's greatest era. I mean, 103 goals, 92 assists in 310 appearances in all comps. I mean, it's staggering numbers.
And I think if anybody had that, just even half of that in football, they would be so chuffed with it.
Premier League trophy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the forwards. These are guys that are nailed on keeps.
Yeah,
surely.
all of them are keeps. 200 million.
Bumo, Sesko.
Combo.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Today they'll do something special.
We could just stick them up if you're happy.
Just go straight to the stage.
Sorry,
Ollie, I'm making
it
right,
aren't they? Sesko, Cunha, and then
Good work, Ollie, mate, helping out.
Putting a shift in over here.
Yeah, you are. Earning your money, bro.
And then I'm going to go with our 3 attackers who are currently on loan. I think Jadon Sancho is a clear go. The way his career has panned out at Manchester United has been very unfortunate. Marcus Rashford, it was tough for me because last time I said stay, I said I was really looking forward to seeing him under Amorim. We never really got to see that, and statistically what he's done for Manchester United, you know, in the last decade he's been one of Manchester United's brightest academy players, over 200 goal involvements and just slightly over 400 games. But I think it's time for a new beginning for him.
You wouldn't bring him? I would love no left winger in that slot.
That is my thought. That's my thought process around it, and I'm a big Rashford fan. But I just think sometimes maybe it's time for an amicable, you know, departure from the club and just a new beginning for him and a new beginning for the club. Because as football fans, we love a saviour and then we love a scapegoat, and it's either Marcus Rashford if he's on the pitch or it's Bruno Fernandes. And sometimes you just have to wonder: is it time for both the club and the player just to be like, you know what, 10 years, it's been a good decade. It's time to move on, and he's doing well at Barcelona.
What do you make of the Rashford situation at Barcelona?
It's hard. I mean, he's doing all right at Barcelona, right? But he's not. I don't think he's set the world alight. I think it's come to a natural end at United. I love an academy player coming through and making roads into the first team like Rashford has, but I think you're right. Like, it feels like every time something goes wrong at United, Rashford got a lot of heat for it. It's probably good for his career and good for United to move on and refresh it a little bit. There just feels like there's a lot of baggage around Rashford and United, which is sad because it could have been so different for him, and he still should go down as a legend, right?
And also, let's not forget, like, at Barcelona, he's very happy. Like, he's scoring goals. Like, he seems to be in a much better place, doesn't he? So, kind of more power to him. I think he's basically forced his way back into the World Cup squad.
Yeah, I know you're saying he's not set the world alight, but like you chat to a lot of Barcelona fans, they're very happy with him as a player.
It's a good option.
The competition that he's got in that squad and what he's doing, the numbers,
25 million.
They're serious value for a team there.
That he's putting up, and the fact that he's worked his way back in the England squad, you'd imagine he's very happy with his situation now. I feel like that's quite a good fit for him.
And I was just saying, like, on the left wing situation, United are reportedly maybe in for one in the window coming up. I do imagine him in a Manchester United team, but then I'm like, sometimes you just have to let go, because I can't sit here and say we need a rebuild and we need this, and we know what the issues are in the fan base and in the club. And he's had 18 goal involvements this season for Barcelona, 4 goals in the Champions League in 6 games. I think I would say go, but for 25 million, I can't believe what we're doing selling him for that. So all 3 of these, I would say go. They're all the players on loan this season.
Ahmad is surely a stay.
No, I'm joking. Yes, of course.
That
would have really upset Joe. Joe loves Ahmad.
I think there is a conversation to be had, though, about the Ahmad and Bumo situation in this 4-2-3-1. How do they both fit in? Because for me, they're probably United's 2 most dangerous attackers.
100%. And I just will say that there's nothing wrong with having quality depth.
No,
I think that's what we've lacked for quite some time at Manchester United. And I like Mbumo, I like Ahmad. Even Cunha, I think he's still trying to find his feet. And there's nothing wrong having an interchangeable attack between the 3 of them. And just with the Bruno Fernandes point, I'm thinking, if next season he's willing to accept that smaller role in the team, then you can find a way to put Ahmad in.
A bit more centrally.
Yeah, a bit more centrally. He played there as well for Sunderland. We've seen him play on the left for Ivory Coast as well. Ruben Amorim played him once or twice there as well. But I think it's a bright attack that Man United have with him. And we just need go-getters, people that will go at players, attack at players, take a shot, create something. And I think with what Man United have...
I think in 1v1 situations, Ahmad's United's best player. I mean, at the AFCON, he was unbelievable. He won man of the match in 3 of his 5 games, didn't he? Do you think Ahmad versus Mbumo, how do you see that working? Does Mbumo move to the left, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. Could Mbumo go up front? But then obviously you've got Sesko and Cunha, as you say. You're right, there's nothing wrong with having quality depth, but that does make United qualifying for Europe even more important, I think, next season, because if you're just playing Premier League games, someone like Ahmad, who is young and is clearly very promising, is going to want to play as many minutes as possible. And if he starts to start on the bench a few games, I think other clubs will go sniffing, and I think that's a situation that will need to be managed properly. But if he can play on the left, put him on the left. Like, I don't see a clear left winger really in the stay section.
Yeah.
So if he's happy to do that and he thrives there internationally, then yeah, make that happen. And Bumo, Cunha, Ahmad front three is with Bruno behind them is very good.
That's in the stay, in case
That's in the stay. Because United fans would definitely want to see him in the stay.
They might think I'm putting in the goal.
Joshua Zirkzee, obviously a player that's linked with moves, as we know. What are your thoughts on Zirkzee?
I feel sorry for him a little bit because he came into Manchester United when Erik ten Hag was the manager. I think he was the first signing of the Ineos summer era, even though Dorgu came the January before. He's had 2 different managers now, and nobody can kind of find somewhere to place him in the team because he's
I think that's the real issue, like finding out where his best position is. And he's been at a time where there's been formation changes, personnel changes, and it's almost like they haven't found a role for Zirkzee. He's someone that I look at as a neutral, and he always gets game times, doesn't he? But you never really know where he fits into the jigsaw.
I think he's the final piece of the puzzle. He's like the cherry on top when you build your squad. He's not necessarily the first attacker that you bring in, and that's what Ineos did. Man United needed goal scorers, and he wasn't really offering that. His best performance for me was Ruben Amorim's second Premier League game against Everton, where he was playing as a 9, but he was dropping off a lot, and Marcus Rashford was running into space, and other attackers were running into space. I feel sorry for him, but I do think it's best for him to leave for himself, because you've just seen the way that his career has panned out at Manchester United. And like I said, he's come in 2 different managers already, 2 different systems, 2 different profiles of type of football, and it's very hard to place a player when they haven't really got a specific skill set that they excel at that you need, because he's creative, he's good in those tight spaces, he's good first touch, etc. But then when you want someone in the 10, you're going to go with Bruno. There's other players that will go there, so I'll put him at sell.
12 goes.
There we go. It's a lot. I was thinking that. Mina is not mucking about with that list. There we go. There is confirmation of Mina's stay or go Man United squad list. Let us know what you think of that at home.